Hi everyone, I'm Bill Van Amberg.
And I'm Alycia Gildy.
We want you to join us on December 3rd. It's our last live CCTU broadcast of the year, and it's a special one.
That's right. We're going to be focusing on the successes of 2021 and what to look forward to in 2022.
So join us for that, but remember, you do have to register. Go to our website, calstart.org/CCT update to do that.
And follow us on Twitter at CalStart. And we will CCTU soon.
Well, hello everyone, and we will CCTU now. Welcome to everybody. It's great to be back into CCTU right here at this moment in our final 2021 edition of the Clean Commercial Transportation Update. We're back from Thanksgiving and hope you had a great holiday with you and yours. As always, I'm Bill Van Amberg and happy to be back together again with my great colleague and partner, Alycia Gildy. Welcome, Alycia.
Happy Friday and happy holidays, everyone. Great to be back with you here at CCTU. And we are coming from our home studios today, everyone. But we have a fantastic 30-minute live broadcast for you. And it wouldn't have been possible without our wonderful production team. I want to give special thanks to Amir Sharik, who made all the graphics, Max Lemieux, who is running our controls. Casey Okazaki is our producer. Whitley Porter is making sure we look great. And Carly Magnan is managing our chat today.
And I am managing my own camera button. So you can see that's been going off and on. Sorry about that. We have a great broadcast, though, as Alycia pointed out, to end this year. What we want to do is look at the accomplishments. This has been an amazing year in 2021. So we'll do that, and then we'll look ahead to what we need to tackle next. But we will start by looking at you, our viewers, to show our appreciation. And we're going to shine a spotlight on two super loyal viewers who have supported us big time this year.
Oh, and Bill, I can't wait for that and really appreciate these two wonderful champions we're going to highlight. Well, then we're going to hear from our wonderful team members across the organization who are going to reflect on the big successes of 2021 and what to look forward to in 2022.
Last, we're going to hear from CalStart's president and CEO, John Boesel. He'll talk about some of the top outcomes of the year he saw and the vision going forward. So we got a lot to cover, and we do want to get right into it today. There's a lot to unpack, if you will. So let's get right to our poll, Alycia, the way we usually start.
Well, and hey, everyone, we are looking forward to a fantastic 2022, and we want to hear from you. What are the topics most important to you? So let's go ahead and bring up that poll. First option is looking at advanced vehicle technologies. How about innovative infrastructure solutions, policy and regulatory insights? How about funding incentives? And then lastly, equity in transportation. Would really love your input as we start planning ahead for 2022.
Yeah, and as we give people time to answer that, a couple of things that really pop up and they align with what's on this list. I mean, we had this just recently. Oregon and Washington both passed the advanced clean truck rules, adopting California's clean truck rules. That's really pretty exciting from the regulatory and policy front. And Alycia, I think we were both talking about this. Ford rolled their first e-transits, their electric transits, off their assembly line in Kansas City just a couple of weeks ago. So we're really seeing the vehicles and the advanced technologies hitting the road.
And it's incredible, the momentum we have seen in 2021 and now what to expect for 2022, all these merging technologies, all these commitments to zero emission commercial vehicle adoption. Bill, we are definitely in the right place and the right time to be sharing this great update with our CCTU friends.
You bet. Well, let's see those poll results.
Oh, wow. We have a nice, I would say, mix review of topics, which is nice because we'll make sure to cover all of them. But it looks like the biggest and most dominant topic of interest, which I am very pleased to see, is our innovative infrastructure solution.
No surprise there, too. Huh?
No surprise.
I mean, such a big deal.
Sure. Well, that's great. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your input. We will make sure to bring these good topics to you.
Well, now as we wrap up the year, we do want to kind of take a moment to thank you, our great viewers. I mean, the reason that we do CCTU and the reason we started it, and to reach all of you, industry, fleets, public agencies, finance entities, utilities, communities, you are why we do CCTU, to keep you apprised on real progress, the needed work, the genuine momentum that doesn't always get told out there. So we're so grateful for your steady support for what we do. And if this is your first broadcast with us, welcome and thank you. You are a CCTU champion for joining us. But today we really want to recognize two viewers in particular who have leapt out of the fray, if you will, with their loyalty to almost every broadcast and showcase two great CCTU champions, Alycia.
Oh, I'm delighted to introduce these two wonderful individuals, and many thanks to Abby Swain and Doug Lloyd, who have been following us and then certainly promoting us on LinkedIn as well. Doug, thank you so much. But first, I would love to introduce Abby Swain with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency out of the Region 1 office, who oversees and leads programs on the Smart Way and Clean Freight programs. And then, of course, Doug Lloyd, who is an independent consultant on electric and autonomous vehicles and provides great insights on strategy and operations. Well, first of all, Abby, thank you so much for being with us and for being one of our champions. Would love to hear from you what's so important to about CCTU and why you come and join us every time we have a broadcast. And then also, what is exciting to you as you look forward to 2022 for the industry?
Well, Alycia, I love CCTU because you have really embraced the task that's before us, getting all the right players to pull together to make the transition to medium and heavy duty vehicles with low to zero tailpipe emissions. Thinking about the role you play, an analogy popped into my mind. It's kind of like being stuck indoors on a rainy day on a vacation with your extended cantankerous family. You're desperately bored. You're trying to avoid killing each other, and you've just dug out an old 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle in a box that no longer has an image of what you're supposed to be putting together because it's mildew. So how do we start putting it together? Are too many pieces missing to succeed? What should the final project look like? How do we group the pieces so we can work efficiently? Will we ever finish? So what CALSTART and CCTU have done is you gathered the players from all the different sectors that have a role in solving this puzzle, from OEMs to utilities to fleets to mechanic training programs, to roll up their sleeves and join the effort. And you're orchestrating cooperation to solve the puzzle. You've been relentless in promoting the importance of this task through all channels. You've brought your incomparable can-do spirit and expertise to the challenge. You've designed and implemented the incentive programs needed to achieve scale, and you've unstintingly shared your tools and expertise with the other puzzlers. So looking ahead, I am wondering, could it be that the adaptations that have been forced on us by the pandemic have opened our minds to rethinking business as usual? Could it be that worrying about our supply chains in terms of our own personal needs have underscored the need for cooperation? So it looks like 2022 could be a very good year for making strides in deploying electric trucks for urban, short, and regional hauls particularly, and for converting refrigerated transport to relying more on batteries and the grid than on diesel. And I think in doing so, we could do a lot of good to urban populations and improve the job satisfaction and health of drivers and freight facility workers.
Wow, that was something. I was wondering where you were going with that analogy, because I was worried we were kind of some musty jigsaw pieces. But thank you so much. I mean, I really appreciate the thoughts, Alycia and I, for trying to build context and put things in their place and order so people can understand where we're going. Let's keep doing it. Well, thank you so much, Abby. And now let's hear from our other CCTU champion. I don't know, Doug, if you can quite rise to that analogy height that we got from Abby, but we really have appreciated so much your enthusiasm, your promotion, the viral help for us to get the word out. What do you most enjoy about CCTU, and what excites you about where our industry is going in 2022?
Well, absolutely, Abby is a tough act to follow. But where I would start is the reason I love CCTU is your palpable passion for it, which I share, and the whole team. I've communicated with many people within the organization, and it's through and through, and that's what really draws me to it. And the shows, as you sign off each time, you're like, it went super fast. It's because there's so much great information out there that it's hard to pack into this little segment. that you do. I loved when you were doing it weekly, but I understand how much time this kind of thing takes. So I really appreciate the CC Take Fives and hope you keep all of those going. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do to stack on top of all the progress that has happened in the past 2 years that you've had the show, and that we've been able to communicate this information out to more people, get more people involved, and all the new companies that I see and you see each week almost popping up in different countries.
Yeah.
And it's just about every continent around the world that has some company doing what we're passionate about, and bringing this technology and getting ZEVs onto the roads and moving our products around the world. So I look forward to hearing more of this and just keeping it going.
Well, thank you so much, Doug, and thank you, Abby. I'm so glad we have this recorded.
I have one more thing. If you can't think of anything to get me as a gift, you might think of something, and I'll CCTU next year.
Oh, I
Oh,
heard a
look
real
at
broad
you.
hint there, huh?
I want
Okay.
one.
All right, we will do that. We will put that on our list.
I love it, Doug. That's fantastic. Well, great. Thank you so much both for joining us and for being our CCTU champions. Well, now we want to go to our CALSTART team members to discuss the great accomplishments of 2021 and to what to look forward to, in 2022. Just so much to do and to look forward to. And I want to go ahead and start off with our Northeast Regional Office team, and would like to introduce our Northeast Regional Director, Ben Mandel, and our Project Manager, Al Beatty. Ben, let's start with you. What accomplishments have you seen in the Northeast this year?
Hi, Alycia, and thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be with you as always. Well, first and foremost, my favorite is that we've added 2 great new team members this year, Ricardo Garcia Coyne and Al Beatty, who you'll hear more from in a moment. And our work has made it feel a bit like an inflection point in 2021. We're planting the seeds for what we consider to be real wholesale adoption of electric and alternative fuel options, things like a battery electric street sweeper, and identifying clean freight corridors in the New York metro region, and continuing to support NYSERDA and its truck voucher program to make diesel replacement more affordable, which now has more than $50 million released in voucher funding. And at the same time, states like New York, but also New Jersey and Massachusetts are making big strides, setting the stage for more meaningful zero emissions growth, new incentive programs in the region, and aggressive policies to accelerate the phase out of petroleum vehicles across classes. We expect multiple states to join the West Coast states in adopting the Advanced Clean Trucks regulation by the end of this year.
That would be fantastic, Ben. And that is really exciting in terms of the work we've done in the past. Let's now shift over to Al. What are you looking forward to in 22, kind of building on that platform for the Northeast, and what partnerships and projects should we be preparing for or looking at, Al?
Thank you, Bill. So the Northeast office has some really exciting new projects coming down the pipeline for this coming year across initiatives. In the medium and heavy duty vehicle space, we'll be continuing to provide outreach and assistance to fleets seeking to participate in electrification incentive programs. This includes a new partnership with the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center to support private fleets in navigating truck electrification, with a focus on reducing emissions in environmental justice communities. We'll also be going beyond medium and heavy duty vehicles, accelerating innovative zero emission modes for first and last mile passenger trips and goods movement throughout the region. And finally, we'll be supporting CalStart's National Charge to Work USA program, recently awarded by the U.S. Department of Energy. And we're excited that the Northeast will be a priority region for deployment under that program.
Wow, Al, that's fantastic. You, Ben, and Ricardo are up to some fantastic work in the Northeast. Really proud of you. Well, gosh, Bill, I know we have more. What's up next?
Well, next we're going to hear from Katrina Sutton and Rachel Chard of our bus and innovative mobility teams. Thanks for joining us, Rachel and Katrina. We wanted to go to Rachel first, but I think we're still struggling with her sound. Rachel, how's your sound coming through?
I think I'm okay. Can you guys hear me all right?
We got you. That's super. Well, let's start off. We've been working on this behind the scenes. I wanted to make sure it really came through. You've been working on school bus projects, and it's such a growing space for electrification. What highlights from 2021 would you like to share, and what are you excited about next year in that space?
Well, I think the biggest highlight from 2021 is the passing of the infrastructure bill. We're going to see a lot of funding from that bill funnel through to electric school buses. So the EPA is going to be expanding their programs a lot this year, which will be exciting. And then CALSTART is going to help support that expansion in the market. So we're going to be continuing to administer our HVIB program in partnership with CARB, with a specific set aside for rural school buses this year. We're also going to be launching our Energize program with the CEC to fund some infrastructure projects. And then we're going to be kicking off some electric school bus working groups. These will be peer-to-peer working groups to help school districts learn from each other. We'll have one specifically in California and then one on the national level. And lastly, we're going to be publishing our first annual Zeroing In on School Buses report. This will start tracking electric school bus deployments across the country and analyze some of the market trends that we're seeing. This will all happen within the first quarter of 2022, so look out for that.
Wow, Rachel, that's incredible. What a wonderful rundown. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Well, next I want to bring in your colleague, Katrina, who's on the team, who's working on some great projects related to transit. All right, Katrina, tell us, what should we be expecting from the industry in 2022, and what was most successful to you in 2021?
Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward in 2022 to the LONO funding from the FTA that we estimate can fund up to 2,000 new zero-emission bus orders. And the bus team at CALSTART will continue to help transit agencies prepare for their zero-emission buses. We're engaging with transit agencies through our bus working groups, similar to the school bus working groups we're working with on Rachel's side, as well as some other projects that we're doing in 2022. So if any transit agency wants to join our working groups, please let us know. We're happy to invite you into the fold. I also wanted to highlight a $6 million CEC funded microgrid project we're working on with LADOT and Proterra, as well as Apparent Energy. It's currently the largest transit-oriented microgrid project in the country, which is incredible. And we're also working with Anaheim Transit for a microgrid build-out project where we'll be collecting performance data and create a best practice guide to share with the world. Microgrids and other resilience measures are incredibly important for the transit agencies so they can provide reliable transportation, and even in the event of a grid outage. So looking forward to more zero-emission vehicles on the road, guys.
Oh gosh, Katrina, that's awesome. And I love these incredible, innovative microgrid projects, and look forward to the learnings from those projects so we can share them with everyone. So thank you so much for your great leadership on those projects. Well, thank you so much, Rachel and Katrina. Now I would love to bring in our truck and off-road team and recognize Nikki O'Cook and Tara Campi, who are our deputy directors on the truck and off-road team. We have seen some big success on the truck team this year. Tara, would love to hear from you. What were the big accomplishments for 2021?
Thank you, Alycia. Yes, it's been a really busy year. I'm a deputy director on on California's on-road truck and bus incentive project. So I spend my days helping to manage the tremendous growth that we've seen in demand for infrastructure incentives, for vehicle incentives. It's been a very busy and exciting year. We saw HVIP's final wave of $63 million, which was released in October, fully requested within 9 minutes. That's on the heels of 2 other waves throughout 2021 that were also requested really rapidly, for a total of almost $250 million, all in 1 year, funding over 2,000 vehicles. So we are really seeing the transformational demand reflected in this program, and excited to be getting ready for 2022, where the CARB board, before the Thanksgiving holiday, approved over $500 million, which will come to HVIP alone, to a suite of vehicles, but also targeted funding for drayage vehicles, for electric school buses, and for transit vehicles. So we're really getting ready for the exciting 2022 momentum right now.
Well, Tara, that is so astounding. And I think it's so exciting. That's more than $500 million that we're going to be able to put out to accelerate the market next year. And that came about through the culmination of so much hard work, both to build the market and funding. And it's exciting to see when we run the dollars out that quickly, the momentum and the demand that's really there. So this is something we want to keep up. Great work. So what we want to do now is kind of shift over and look at the small fleet engagement work that we're doing and the off-road industry. Nikki, where is that going in 2022?
Yeah, so speaking to Tara's point, we've spent this last year, I think we've been really excited to develop a particular set aside within HVIP. It'll be 25 million set aside specifically for small fleets. We're calling that the Innovative Small E-Fleet set aside. Particularly dear to my heart, as you know, that I used to be a small fleet owner and operator myself, and it's such an important segment, right? It represents nearly 75% of the trucks on the road in California. The percentages are even higher across the country. So we really want to support this particular segment of the market with targeted information, resources, and incentives. To that end, we've also launched a Transforming Trucks, Transforming Communities campaign that has resources like case studies and tools to really start moving the needle with this transition with our smaller fleets. And you can find all that information at transformingtrucks.com and that new ISEF set aside in HVIP coming out next year. Now over to off-road. So I'm really excited to report about off-road that we managed to fund close to 600 zero-emission pieces of equipment across the state and across industries through the California Clean Off-Road Equipment Voucher Incentive Program, which is very much like HVIP, but was intended only for freight applications in that first round. I think that this really proves to all of us the commercial availability of models in all of these different sectors, and also the market receptiveness that in the very first year, we were able to oversubscribe by 100% our available funding and deploy so many units. And those are going to just have amazing impacts for air quality, demonstrating new technologies, and really improving the health outcomes for those neighborhoods that are most impacted by freight emissions near our port and rail yards and our freight facilities. So that program, as Tara mentioned, just before Thanksgiving, the board approved additional funding. So we're pleased to announce $195 million going to the core program next year, with expanded categories. So we'll be looking at new technologies in areas like construction, agriculture, potentially also landscaping, and also possibly hovercraft. So lots of new opportunities to bring new commercially viable, clean off-road equipment to market and get it deployed in the neighborhoods that really are ready to see these impacts the most.
That's fantastic, Nikki. Thanks so much. We've got to move on, but really kudos on the work that you've done on the core program and going into construction and ag. That is just a big deal and such a great expansion. Let's shift now to the Midwest. We want to hear from Lily Paul and Jeremy Orr from our Midwest regional team, where they're doing some great work. Lily, let's start with you. It's so great to have you back on again. Can you share some of the progress the Midwest team has made in 2021?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. We've had a lot going on, so I'll try to go really fast here. Within the past year, we've secured $19.9 million for zero emission work in the Midwest. That's across transit, infrastructure, and commercial vehicles. Through our Lono work, we are deploying 41 new zero emission transit buses in Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, and Wisconsin. An important thing to note there within our Michigan work, we are aiming to have the first federalized statewide cutaway zero emission bus contract available. So with that, transits across the country will be able to purchase off of that. There are no maximums or minimums. So that'll be for battery electric cutaway buses. We also are continuing to support transit with our Midwest Zero Emission Bus Working Group. We have our KTOF work, which is deploying the first next generation purpose-built transit AV. That's in both Youngstown, Ohio at WRTA and Santa Clara VTA in California. We are continuing our medium and heavy duty fleet electrification planning work with over 15 transits, or fleets rather, not just transits. We've also intervened on 4 EV utility rate cases. We've secured additional funds for our military efforts through HTEF, so that's for the Army's vehicle electrification plans, and we are currently planning for tech demonstrations with the Ground Vehicle Systems Center. And finally, we've grown our team by 2 new people, one of which you'll hear it from in a second. So Alycia, back to you.
Lily, fantastic rundown. And you all have been doing some great work in the Midwest. Way to go. Well, Jeremy, welcome to the team. So excited to have you on board. Tell us, what should we expect from the Midwest in 2022?
Sure. Thanks, Alycia. So in the Midwest, we have sort of 4 high-level goals. The first big, we're going to continue working with our regional stakeholders to grow the number of zero-emission transit vehicles. And of course, we define transit as transit, shuttle, automated shuttles, and school buses. We want to grow the number to 700 in 2022, up from just over 500 in 2021. So quite an increase there. Our second overall goal is to continue facilitating the growth of zero-emission, medium, and heavy-duty commercial vehicles in the Midwest through continued focus on fleets and infrastructure planning and deployment activities. So how do we plan to do this? Of course, continue working with fleets and developing fleet electrification plans, advocating for commercial ZEV policies, focusing on the medium and heavy duty electrification needs, and disseminating knowledge and best practices to our stakeholders and our partners in the region. Our third goal, business development, right? We'd like to secure additional funding to carry out some of our priority activities that enable the acceleration of the zero emission vehicle market here in the Midwest, which means securing funding for a lot of our regional utility work, outreach and education, policy and advocacy, as well as a focus on workforce development and supply chain initiatives. And of course, just other measures to accelerate the zero emission market here in the Midwest. And lastly, recruiting new business members, which I'm sure we all do across all regions. The Midwest has been a significant contributor to the overall success of clean transportation with a lot of membership ties to the Midwest. But we still want to recruit more regional utilities, transits, and fleets, as well as national industry stakeholders and partners. And then corollary to this, just attend more events to help promote CALSTART, our brand, and our initiatives. Thanks, Alycia.
Jeremy, fantastic. Thanks so much. I know there's a lot of good work to be done, and so glad to have you on the team. Well, gosh, moving to our last team to give a good report, and I'm incredibly proud of this team. This is the team that I get to oversee, and I'm lucky to oversee our Clean Fuels and Infrastructure Initiative. And we have with us today 2 wonderful colleagues. I would like to introduce Ralph Trout, who is our technical advisor on Clean Fuels and Infrastructure, and our project manager, CRUZ. Well, hey, Ralph, tell us, we've got a lot going on the team. What are our big accomplishments for 2021?
This was a big year for 21 for us here at the Clean Fuels and Infrastructure team at CALSTART. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Ralph and I'm new to the team. This year we had 3 awards to advance zero emission infrastructure for light and medium and heavy duty vehicles in the state of California. Additionally, CALSTART had secured federal funding from the Department of Energy for EV workplace charging. Additionally, the CF&I team kicked off a program with the State of California Energy Commission for the Energize Commercial Vehicle Program. This is a first of its kind commercialized statewide incentivized program to deploy hydrogen and electric vehicle infrastructure to support both trucks, buses, and off-road vehicles. The Energize team did also work with a lot of our stakeholders and outside agencies to inform and design the project, so we're very grateful for their help in development of this program. And finally, the Energize program has 4 funding opportunity lanes with the goal of providing benefits to low-income, disadvantaged communities as our primary objective. And finally, the team is very excited to let you know we will be launching very soon, so please do stand by.
The industry is really standing by for that one, Ralph. We're all excited for it, and it's so desperately needed. Thank you for that. It was great to have you on the team. So much going on the infrastructure front, but so much more in 2022, as Ralph alluded to. KIARA, what is the team hoping to achieve in 2022?
Well, yeah, like Ralph was saying, the Clean Fuels and Infrastructure team were very excited to roll out CEC's Energized Commercial Vehicle Project. And with that, we've been working for a thoughtful marketing and outreach effort, which includes a lot of community engagement. I'm also really proud that we're going to be working to provide technical assistance through our Infrastructure Readiness Center, and that's the IRC for short. The IRC is going to be a concierge infrastructure support service to assist fleets for things like preparation with energized participation, helping them understand their planning needs through online tools, resources, and workshops, and even a 1-800 helpline to help give guidance one-on-one. Other things that our team is looking forward to as well is implementing a community first incentive project for light duty electric vehicle charging. And as well as an innovative project in partnership with EPRI to develop megawatt high-powered charging for electric trucks and a first of its kind zero-emission freight corridor. So we're going to be really busy, but we're really looking forward to the excitement, innovation, and partnerships. Back to you, Alycia.
Great. Well, KIARA, thank you so much. Incredibly proud of our clean fuels and infrastructure team and all the great work that you guys are doing. Well, Bill, I'm really excited about this next segment, bringing on a special guest, and I will hand it over to you.
Thanks, Alycia. And I know for people on the webinar, we're going a little long, but there's just so much to cover today. So hang with us because we've really got a good segment next. You know, I've been involved with this organization for nearly 30 years, and this is easily the most exciting and meaningful year I've seen in terms of progress, real products, powerful outcomes. I've worked with our CEO, John Boesel, who joins us now live almost for 3 full decades now, which is kind of remarkable. John, welcome today.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be on with you.
We've covered much of the work of our initiatives on CCTU over the course of this year, but we know there's so much more going on. What stood out for you, John, this year as key accomplishments for this organization and the clean transportation industry?
Well, certainly our team already covered a lot of them. So let me just hit on a few maybe additional ones. I really want to call out Governor Newsom and the California State Legislature for the time when the state had a significant budget surplus and steering some $2 billion in new funding toward our industry. That's going to really help move things along. I also want to say that the passage of the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill was huge. We're going to see almost $1 billion a year in funding for low and no emission buses, $7.5 billion for EV and other infrastructure charging and refueling opportunities, and then a major $14 billion hydrogen hub program. So there's just a lot in that bill. We also participated and got support for $6 billion in manufacturing grants for companies in the EV battery and supply chain sector.
That's fantastic, John. And I know that you've been playing a critical role in helping us lead our policy work and really looking forward to the incentives we're going to see on infrastructure, which is great. Well, now looking forward to 2022, what's most exciting for you in the industry?
Boy, there's a lot. I really think when you look at it, and Bill and I have been together for so long, we were on that the low angle of the hockey stick. We're now on that sharp angle, and our industry is just taking off and growing so fast. I think policy is going to be really big. I think on a number of fronts, both various states, California, and at the federal level, I think we're going to see the adoption of some significant new standards that will really move the industry forward. Our team worked together in Scotland. We got this a global agreement by 15 countries to basically endorse California's goals for zero emission commercial vehicles. And I expect a lot more countries to join up and take part in that. Amazingly, California has another budget surplus. It's even bigger than last year. So we're putting together a bold plan right now to really increase California funding. And I think we'll also just start to see an opportunity for CALSTART to not only to really expand beyond California, with all this great new federal funding coming in, a chance for us to work throughout the country to really grow the industry. And I'm just so excited about all the new product that our members are bringing to the market and a chance to make things go even faster.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, John, and for all of your leadership and for steering the ship as we move along and advance all of these great technologies and incentives and programs and policies. I really appreciate your leadership and for joining us for this final CCTU of the year. Really appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, John. And well, it's that time, you all. Thanks for staying a bit longer with us. It's the end of our program. And we just want to let you know that next year, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be bringing CCTU to Tuesdays. That's right, CCTU on Tuesdays. Now get familiar with that.
CCTU's Day. Let's get used to it.
So our next broadcast, and what we're going to try to do is do the last Tuesday of every month. So we will be seeing you next on Tuesday, January 25th. And we'll continue to bring you our Take Fives as we have. So please continue to follow us on our website as well as our YouTube as we bring you those segments.
So thank you so much for joining us today and for our broadcasts throughout 2021 and the year before that. The past year did bring huge progress for the clean transportation industry, as we tried to share with you today. Ambitious emission reduction goals globally that we were involved in, innovative new technologies developed, entirely new partnerships formed, the first large-scale plans, Alycia, for infrastructure finally being put in place, which is so important. We're in the midst of real and massive change, and we look forward to working with all of you in 2022 to drive that change faster. But we must end this year and this broadcast. So for now, I'm Bill Van Amberg.
And I'm Alycia Gildy, and we look forward to seeing you after the new year for our next episode of CCTU on Tuesday, January 25th. But until then, happy holidays. Please be safe. Enjoy time with family and friends. And we have a little extra cheer to bring you at the end of this segment. So stay tuned for our blooper reel that will play right after this.
And we will CCTU in 22.
Promo, take one.
Oh, it was that old joke. Sudite. Yeah, I'm dating myself. You know. Ready?
Ready.
Hello and happy CCTU Friday, everyone. I'm Bill Van Amberg.
And I'm Alycia Gildy.
From all of us here at CalSTART and Alycia. Should we try that one?
Reach.
Yeah. Wasn't me. Wasn't me, okay?
Okay, it was definitely me.
Because I'm usually the claw here. I'm this. Hello and happy CCTU Friday, everyone. I'm Bill Van Amberg.
And I'm Alycia Gildy.
And we will CCTU soon.